Today we're going to talk about some things that affect your healing. So we're specifically going to talk about diastasis, but these kind of go across the board. And so the first one we're going to talk about is nutrition. This affects your healing on a very basic level just because what you put in your body affects how well your body can build back. So when we're focusing on healing postpartum and healing diastasis recti, how you fuel your body makes a difference. How you fuel your body is how it can build back. If you give it everything it needs, it has a better chance of healing well, obviously, and then if you neglect it, right? So we know this. The next one is going to be sleep. I know postpartum, it is very hard to get sleep sometimes, but just remembering to do the best you can. I know there have been times where I chose to waste time instead of sleep, and I regret it. And I think sometimes, I regret it the next morning, not now, standing here 3 years later, but but at the time I was like, why did I not just go to sleep, right? So I think just sometimes having that reminder is important, and especially in the context of healing, you heal when you sleep. So when your body is allowed to rest and allowed to sleep, when you can, obviously, that makes a huge difference, right? So trying to get the most rest and sleep that you can in a period where there's just not a lot of rest and sleep, we take it for what it is. Do the best you can. The next one is going to be, and I don't want to forget, so let me look at this, stress. Yes, so again, postpartum can be a stressful time and there's just a lot going on. There's a lot of changes, but trying our best to manage that stress in a healthy way, whether it's praying, meditating, relaxing in some way, something that releases stress for you, whatever it is, if we can kind of just be mindful of, okay, I'm getting really flustered, really stressed, whatever, let me take a deep breath, all that kind of stuff. And so again, that ties in with the rest. Allowing yourself to rest really can help that as well. Because when you're super stressed, your body is not in healing mode, it's in fight or flight. So we want to, again, another thing that can help with that is, your nice optimal breath can really help bring you down from stress. I know that seems simple, but it is it's proven to help stress and rest, digestion, kind of things like that. So that's another one. The other thing is going to be proper and timely movement. So this is one that I know is everyone's like, well, what am I supposed to do? And this, that, and the other. And so and I have a plan, core rehab, take you through all the stuff. Your body is going to obviously heal better, along with all those other things, or heal optimally. Let's not say better. It's going to heal optimally when you're doing things to optimize healing. If you just kind of let your core go, don't worry about it, do whatever. There's a chance that genetically you are just blessed and it's going to heal. Not a very high one, but it happens for some people. And so you can either do nothing or you can go and do too much. There's just timely and proper movement is very important postpartum. So allowing your body to be able to recover, and gradually going back to breathing and then light movements and just gradually building up is so important, especially when we live in a world where you're told do nothing for 6 weeks and then go hit the boot camp at 6 weeks in one day. So we have to keep in mind that what we have our body doing is very important for healing. And then the last thing, and I touched on this I said it, the last thing is gonna be genetics. And I know this isn't a popular one to talk about, and it may not seem fair, but it's true. How we are all genetically different can affect how fast or slow we heal, right? And it just is what it is. So we could do the same exact thing as the person next to us, and one of us heals quicker, and the other one, it takes maybe a year, and it's just, it seems unfair, but it is what it is. And I think that it's important for us to remember that just something to take into account, because that comparison thing that we tend to do, especially on social media, can be really hurtful and really mentally just it can discourage us. And I think that I want to bring that in with this talk on the genetics, especially because when we compare, we've all heard this, it steals our joy. It's, we just need to run our own race and stay in our lane, however you want to say it, and just focus on what we can do. And that goes for the genetics that we can't control. That goes for, the sleep and the stress and the nutrition and just doing everything we can rather than focusing on, well, they're doing more and they're able to do this and I'm not able to do that. And, because of this, that, and the other. And I think that in itself can be a big player in our healing when we are able to do our best and let go of what we can't do. So I want to definitely emphasize that at the end of this, because those other factors are all very important and very real. And this focusing on what we can do and letting go of what we can't, it affects all of the rest of them. So it's going to affect our stress. It's going to affect our healing. It's just very important that we remember we need to give our best and do our best to, optimize these categories that we talked about. But also on the same thing, at the same time, we need to focus on letting go when we can't, because postpartum and any time in life, there's going to be times when we are not getting optimal sleep. We are more stressed than usual. We don't have perfect nutrition and just whatever it is. And that's okay, because it causes more damage and more stress to freak out about it than it does to just do our best and let go of the rest. So, nice little rhyme there at the end. So we're going to do our best, let go of the rest, and just focus on optimizing best we can.